Welcome back to day 8 of turbocharging your career. Today we are going to look at and focus on how do you write a resume which helps you stand out in the clutter of the marketplace. For any job, there are thousands of applicants who apply for the job. There are stats which tell us that for any job posting, irrespective of what kind of posting it is, almost 1,000 start applying and at least 200 to 400 people end up applying for the job. So if there is a job posting done, advertised on any of the job portals, the recruiter is likely to have about 200 to anywhere between 200 to 400 resumes on his table. And that's the number of resumes that one has to scan. And unless your resume stands out in the sea of applications, very often you may not even get a consideration for the job. You may lose out even before the game begins. So let's dive in. Let's see what are the essential elements of a resume which makes it stand out. Number one, keep it simple, keep it clean and well laid out. Use bullet points. Organize your thoughts very, very clearly and as clear subheadings. Don't make it look very cluttered. Use visually organizing tools in today's resumes. There are thousands of resume formats available in many of the resume building applications which help you visually do the job much better than what it was, let's say, 10 years back. Remember, the resumes are being read by the recruiter who has to scan, as we were talking about, 200 to 400 resumes. She doesn't have too much time. She will just give a glance. And in that time of just getting a glance, your resume has to stand out. Your points have to jump up and grab their attention. So, which means that if you use too many colors, it will be distracting. If your key points are all over the place, they may not even look at it. So your key points have to jump out. Ideally, all your key points have to be at the starting itself as a summary. And the well-laid, organized resume should enable the recruiter in the short span of time that she is looking at it to grab the key points from your resume and decide that, yes, this resume is worth another look and keep it aside for next round of evaluation. Point number 2, a very important point, keep your resume to one page. If you are up to 8 years of experience, keep it to one page. If you have lots and lots of experience, if you are 20 years of experience, then maybe you can go to the second page. And for God's sake, don't exceed 2 pages. Not worth it. Nobody has the time to go through 5 pages, 6 pages of resume. I've seen it as a person who was recruited for my company. It's extremely difficult to go through pages and pages of resume. The recruiter is giving a glance to your resume. The recruiter stats suggest the recruiters typically give about a 7 to 8 seconds glance. 7 to 8 seconds glance and not more than that. In that 7 to 8 seconds glance, how much can one read? If you have 3 pages, 4 pages of resume, do you think that I can read it as a recruiter? Not possible. So it's important for your resume to look neatly laid out, but also important for it to be very concise. Ideally 1 page, not more than that, maybe 2 pages. Within that, you need to ensure that you talk about all the key points. Remove all irrelevant things. Keep only the most relevant things and keep it to 1 page. Maybe if you have tons of experience, tons of years of experience, 2 pages, not more than that. The resume that you are sending talks directly to the recruiter, and the recruiter is looking at your resume for a particular job in mind. What it means? It means that your resume has to be neatly laid out, concise to 1 page most of the times, and it has to talk the language, show the skills that the recruiter is looking for. So what it means? It means that the resume has to be tailored for the job posting. A lot of people I know prepare one resume and keep on sending it to every single job that they ever come across. Absolutely mistake. Big mistake. It's not going to pay any dividends to them. What is important is to ensure that you keep a master resume. You can keep all your experiences, all your learnings in that resume, which nobody ever gets to see. from which you can draw and tailor make your resume, which goes for each and every single job that you apply to. So again, re-emphasizing, ensure that your resume is tailored for the job posting that you are applying to. Absolutely tailored in terms of skills they ask for, the kind of specialization they ask for, the kind of strength they ask for, the kind of experience they ask for. If you have got the experience, it has to be tailored to that job very, very specifically. One of the most important things in crafting a resume is talk about your key accomplishments. Many resumes that I see talk about their responsibilities. I was in charge of the big project. I delivered a good sales growth. I was part of a big team. Who cares? Yeah? Frankly, nobody cares. Tell me what you did. Don't tell me your responsibilities. I'm not interested in what you were responsible for. I care about what you did in that responsibility. So your resume should talk about not I was in charge of a big project. No, you talk about I led a project sized 2 crores. Now that is something that I can think about and imagine. Don't say that I delivered a decent growth. No, I delivered a growth of 35% over last year. Now that's a number that I can relate to. That's a number that I can process. That's a number that I can keep in mind when I evaluate you as a good person to come in. Don't say that I was part of this team which delivered a big sales growth. No. Say that I led a team of 35 people which was in charge of a project size 250 crores, which was delivered in 2 years' time compared to what it was taking 5 years before. Now that I can relate to. So talk about the size of the team that you were in charge of, talk about the kind of sales growth that you delivered, talk about the kind of the bottom line, that saving that you brought in, talk about the time saving that you got in, talk about any of these measurable numbers. So it could be time saving, it could be cost saving, it could be sales that you brought in, it could be skills that you imparted to so many people, which then brought so much of sales, so much of bottom line, so much of top line to the company, or ended up saving so much of time, or ended up improving the process. So whatever you do has to help the company. Whatever you have done should have helped the company, and ensure that all of that are measured and quantified and spoken in a language which tells the people who are looking at your resume as to what your accomplishments are. So simply, don't talk about your responsibilities, talk about your accomplishments. Point, which many times gets overlooked by even very skilled people who craft decent resumes, is not using action verbs in their resumes. Please use very powerful action verbs. Words tell the story. Words are very powerful, and by not using powerful words, you miss out on your resume being powerful. If you use very powerful words, your resume becomes that much more powerful. When you use powerful words, those words make me imagine as to what you could have done, and make me imagine as to, okay, this person can come into my company and can replicate the magic. For example, don't say that I was responsible for delivering the sales growth. Obviously you were. Talk about I delivered a sales growth. Use active sense. Don't use passive sense. Don't say that I was part of a team. Obviously you were. I was leading. I led a team. Then now we are talking. So use action words like I led a team, I delivered a growth, I implemented strategies, and so on, which very clearly, directly tell people, the recruiters, as to what you did and what you accomplished. To quickly summarize what we have talked about in this session: 1, keep it simple, easy to look at, easy to navigate, clean and good layout. That's the simplest thing. That's where you need to start. 2, keep it concise, keep it 1 page. 3, ensure that you talk about your accomplishments and not just responsibilities. 4, Ensure that your resume is tailored for each and every single job that you're applying for. And 5, on the last one, ensure that you use action verbs and not very passive verbs, and action powerful words which show the recruiter what action you did, what action you took, not passive words. I'm sure you like this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, Growth Catalyst Sub. See you in our next session.